Namaskar, this is Sai Krishna in love with marketing. This video is dedicated to Pareto, who invented 80-20 rule. Way back in 1890, he was doing a research in England and then he found out that 80% of the land is acquired by 20% of the people. That's when his research got deepened and he tried to do the same research in different countries. And stunningly, he found the same results in different organizations in different countries as well. But still, in 1997, this didn't really catch the limelight. In 1997, an entrepreneur called Richard, he wrote a book that's called 80-20 Principle. That's when organizations opened their eyes wide open and tried to look into their organization with the 80-20 rule. Let's look at what does 80-20 rule really does to organizations. A lot of times organizations need not be 80-20. That could be 75-25. That could be 65-35. Sometimes it could be 90-10 also. The ratios could differ, but what it means is that a very small amount of accounts result in a huge chunk of revenue. That's what the bottom line of this principle. The reason 80-20 rule is very important for organizations is because seldom organizations focus a lot on this top 20%. They distribute their focus across all the accounts. Now, why is that we need to concentrate our focus on these accounts? Is because it's a clear contributor to the organization's revenue, isn't it? Now, when you distribute your focus, your importance across all the accounts, if you lose one account from this top tier, probably you need to get 100 or 200 net new customers if you're getting from these bottom of the pyramid segment. That's how big impact it is going to leave on an organization. Okay, it's not just that you have to play defensive all through the time to make sure that your customer is retained, but also you can look at growing your revenue with these existing customers. This is something that a lot of organizations doesn't look in this perspective, probably because they don't know how to grow their revenue with the existing customers who are actually giving a very big chunk of their revenues. Now let's look at how do we really find out these segmentations in your organization. Let's take an example. Let's say there are 1,000 accounts and you see that 200 accounts are contributing to very major amount of revenue, like 80%. Let's say 200. But the story doesn't stop here. You have to look at these 200, this 20% of the accounts also with again 80-20 rule. And then sometimes you might find out, like out of these top 20% accounts, you might find that only 40 accounts, which are like again 20% of the accounts are contributing 65, whereas other 80% are contributing to 15. And then again take these top segment, top tier, and then diagnose it further. And then you might find that 10 accounts, which is like 20% of this, is contributing to 50% or 40% or 45, whatever be it. And then 30 accounts are contributing only to 15%. When you diagnose this way, when you have the first segment and then you diagnose this segment again into 80-20 rule, and again you diagnose this segment into 80-20 rule, then you would find till what how many tiers of accounts are needed in your organization. In this scenario, you will get four tiers, the 10, 30, 160, and then 800. This is how you get the top 10 accounts which are giving 50% of the revenue, and then next 30 accounts giving which are giving 15% revenue, next 160 accounts which are giving again 15% revenue, and then last 800 accounts which are giving 20% revenue. When you have this clarity, when you have a vision, when you are able to see that what accounts are contributing to what extent of your organization's revenue, you'll be able to allocate or distribute your importance, your focus, your resources, your budgets, your activities in such a way that based upon this priority. But also, apart from this, you can also understand the ICP genome of your organization. What is the ICP genome of the top my top tier customers? If you are able to design that pattern, define that pattern out of these existing accounts. If not this, at least if this. If not this, at least this. If you're able to define a pattern out of this, then you can ask your marketing and sales team to acquire leads that reflect your top tier of the accounts, top segment of accounts. That's when your organization will have more ACV or TCV value customers, and most of the times, they will have more chances of moving to the top of the pyramid, and that's how your organization will be more sustainable in its growth. Now that you know how 80/20 rule is playing a significant role in organizations, you have to get into your organization accounts and look at the patterns, find out the patterns in your organization using the 80/20 rule, and then based upon the tiers that you're able to define in your organization, you can distribute your activities, your budgets, and also your priorities as well. Happy marketing.